Shanti. Everyone, good evening. Spoiled the surprise. You're sitting there. I haven't introduced you yet. How many were here last week? If you were, you know we had Sister
I was
Kamla.
here.
And you were here, yes. She was here. We have many, many people you won't see around here because of the problem they're having returning from India. We had a big international conference in India, and some have returned, some are more delayed. So we have the pleasure of having Sister Kamla with us one more time, right,
Thank
for
you.
this month.
Thank you, Louise.
Yeah, and we
Pleasure
have,
being with you.
excuse me?
Pleasure being with you too.
Oh, thank you. And I want you to know you're not alone. Last week we had almost 30 people on Zoom. So we have a smidgen who braved the rain. Thank you. We have you people here and familiar faces. Nobody new, right? Okay, so we start a new month. We start a new theme. And the theme is renewal and transformation. So when I first saw the topic, I said to myself, what's the difference? Well, I can take this on a very base level without waxing spiritual. You know, if I'm unhappy about something, I get a chance to change my attitude. I get a chance to change. For example, something very small. My son, who lives in Connecticut, has 5 children. The 5 cute little girls, 4 girls and 1 boy, were a dream to go and be with, and we had all the holidays to celebrate. Excuse my back. And it was wonderful. Now the children are older teenagers who are on traveling teams and tournaments. And grandma doesn't get to cook for the holidays. Well, the first year I was trying not to be sad, but I was sad because I don't care what holiday it is. I have favorite foods and I would make their favorite stuff and little individual bowls. And clearly those days were gone. So I had to take myself in hand and I had to really change my attitude. As Sister Kamla told us, what a great fortune it is to change your own perspective. And what I did was start feeling very grateful for the beautiful blended family, R3 and his wife's 2, second marriage for both, and what beautiful parents they are, and how wonderful the grandchildren are. And so, okay, that didn't do it. So, what was step 2? I cooked. And the next time I saw them would become the holiday. If it was Passover 2 months late, if it was this one's birthday a few months late, and we almost never celebrate holidays or birthdays at the right time. And you know what? I'm just fine with that because I realized by doing this, not only am I happy to have the family and I don't want to feel sad, but I'm actually enjoying the thing I love, which is to cook. And I'll make things they love. And that's kind of, I got a reputation for baking and they look forward to it whenever we celebrate. So I shifted the attitude and nobody felt guilty. Instead, oh, Nana, they call me, she's going to be so sad. It's never sadness. It's never sadness. And it's really a beautiful blended family. So we talk about, I think renewal and transformation as synonyms, but I think that renewal in a spiritual sense, it's not like renewing your driver's license and then you got to go back again. Renewal spiritually means I've changed. And I think we're going to hear all about that tonight. Am I correct? I never know what our speakers are going to talk about specifically.
Me
So
too.
I
It's
want
gonna be
you.
a surprise.
Well, everyone so enjoyed last week.
Thank you.
And so thank you all for coming wherever you are. And Sister Kamla, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Louise. You always do a wonderful job. Your experiences,
I have wonderful guests.
your enthusiasm. It's really nice. And so welcome to all of you again. It's nice to see you. And we've met last week, and I know some of you came to the Saturday's event, which was really wonderful. Yes. Did you want to say something about it?
It was beautiful, wasn't it? I think you were all that you were, no, Donald wasn't, here. But the two of you were here. Would you like to say something quickly about it? Yeah. No, I know, Vera
think
only
she would
talks
say.
one-on-one. Tina, would you like to?
Tina.
I'm very glad that I came on Saturday. It was really beautiful to hear people share um, about their lives, and then to also share about ways to um, to overcome and to think of ways to put ourselves in better moods. And it was very authentic, and everyone spoke from their heart.
Mhm.
And I was very touched by everyone's genuine sharing. And what resonated for me was the presence that everybody felt for each other.
Mhm.
And it was really a beautiful, sacred 2 hours.
Mhm.
I did. Now, normally I feel like I don't like to share too much, you know, but it was sharing, but it was also very like deep, and well, I felt open their hearts as they felt safe um, to share, and that was very touching.
Lovely. Would you like to say anything? No. Heart to heart.
Thank you, Tina, very much. Okay, Williams.
Thank you, everyone. And we're here to explore a very important topic. And I think some of you have been coming here to the meditation center for a very long time. So you're probably hearing the same thing in a different way. And as you know, one of our popular slogan of the BKs, Brahma Kumaris, is that self-transformation brings world transformation. Nowadays, you hear a lot of talk about people should change, the world should change, government should change, this should change. Of course, we expect a lot because we live in a world that is shifting, and you expect something that is new and different and hopeful. And in fact, we're seeing something opposite and pointing fingers that everyone should change. But what is it they should change? Is it their clothing? Is it their shoes, their handbag? What change we're looking for in an individual or even in ourselves? And so this is what we're going to explore, because I think the last conversation we had last week was about identifying that which is very subtle inside of us that manifests outwardly. And in terms of changes, in terms of people's behavior, their attitude, and all of that, it's not something you can hold. Of course, you can see it, but it's more internal. And what is the catalyst of change? What would create that change? Because we're quite hopeful that this can happen and our world can shift and become a world that people would want to live in, that we can experience the joy and the happiness of being a human being sharing a planet. So change is a very important thing. And let's see if we can come up with some of the methods of, if a few of us here start with that shift, then I'm sure it can be an inspiration for others. So, I've met individual who, one person, excuse me, I don't know what, I'm catching a cold or something. And this individual, 12 years ago, he said to me, every time I go to the supermarket, I go to the same supermarket, I buy the same vegetables, and that's all I do. I go home back and that's what I do. And I listened to him and I felt that sounds like a bit boring. He said, I buy the eggplant and I buy the squash and I I couldn't imagine how can you enter a supermarket and just all you're seeing, you're zooming into one thing. And that's all you see. And that's all you're training your mind. Just see that 5 items and you go home and that's it. But 12 years, it's a long time. And it reminds me of the story of Jack in the Box. Who knows about Jack in the Box? Jack in the Box is that person who doesn't want to come out of his box because he is quite cozy and quite comfortable and feeling a bit secure there. He doesn't dare to venture out into the bigger world. And I think it's just being scared, not able to face the big world. So we call that Jack in the Box, always hiding away. I don't want to be seen, want to be invisible. And it is where the person is not able to experience growth. They're not able to face themselves and not able to experience growth. So that's why I wanted to share this when it comes to the whole aspect of a self-transformation. How does that happen? And what it is inside myself that I could start noticing that I need to change, or what it is that I've seen that is of great value within myself. You meet people after many years, they're still not able to change their temperament, their mood, the way they interact. And someone nicely said, I've known this person for so many years and is still getting like really angry and violent and aggressive. And he said to the person, Jack, you haven't changed in 20 years. What's going on? Do we have the same experience? That you meet a friend after many, many years and they say, really? You didn't change? Like, what's going on? Because you would think in time with, everything is changing, the world is shifting, we're getting older. Good news. And still, there is a part of us that refuses to change. Is it because we don't know how to change? Is it we don't want to change? What is it? And we carry this heavy world around all the time. We're thinking about it. So looking within, and this is what I wanted to share with you, there are treasures that we carry with ourselves. And if I were to ask you the question that what it is that you feel you have a right over in your own self, that no one can take that away from you, what it is you have that no one can touch, no one can steal, no one can take away from you. What is that? Anyone? You have it. All of us have something that no one dare to steal. Any answer, Louise? Oh my gosh, that's one of it. That's a giveaway, actually. Our thoughts. We have the mind, which creates energetic thoughts, all kinds of thoughts. We have our feelings, we have our emotions, we have memories, we have an art gallery inside of us. We have huge resources. And I'm always amazed, and I think I would have mentioned when I travel in the past, I used to travel different countries, and I noticed these beautiful buildings and the creativity, the artwork, and huge, whether it's palaces, whether it's artifacts, anything. And I used to look at it and say, how did people come up with these grand ideas? How were they able to bring about those imagination? Because it was born in the mind. The mind is like a womb and everything is created there. And the expression of that is these huge buildings and sculptures and all these artwork. And you look and you say, the marvel of a human being. Look what they've done. Look what they've done. No, try looking up at the skyscraper. You look all the way to the top. You say, a human being did that? This tiny human being? How did they come up with these ideas? And, it's really something to marvel about, because then you can see the potential of the human mind, how powerful it is, how creative it is, and to think we have that. We have the power to create. We have the power of thoughts. We can create whatever thoughts we want, and no one can take that away from you. Whether it's a positive thought, inspiring thought, anything we want in this world that we want to create. And we can even practice that experience of just going quietly in ourselves and noticing all these beautiful, intricate, beautiful works that we have in our world. So we have the power. So I just want all of us to go to think together. So we have the power of our thoughts. What else we have? Inner resources. Whatever you say is right. So nothing is wrong. So don't be scared. We have, Yeah, that's an emotion. And do you know how many varieties of emotions we have? Can anybody guess? Or moods? How many? I think there's about maybe 27, could be more. I'm not sure. We used to have a beautiful picture that shows all the different moods in a human being. And it shows one moment they're happy, one moment they're sad, one moment they're, I don't know, sorry about this. They're anxious, they're fearful, they're critical, all kinds of variety. And I'm sure in your daily interaction, if you notice people, that their mood does not stay constant. You meet someone and they're very nice and you feel good about the person, you had a good interaction, and maybe a couple of days later you meet the same person and they're very upset, they're very angry, maybe not with you, but someone else. And you say, my gosh, the same person, what happened? Maybe we also would have displayed that sometimes. So within this world, it's all kinds of dynamics that's there. And it's a really, really subtle that we bring out into reality, into practical. So all the varieties of moods, all the varieties of temperaments, all the energy of vibrations, we create that. As much as we could say there are triggers for all of that, maybe someone said something and I got, very angry. And that's how we operate. People will always say things. They will always do something we don't like. Or maybe you read your news, you're not happy. But guess what? Who is suffering? Who is making themselves, oh, thank you, Ines. Who is making themselves unhappy? It's just me. My whole expression changes. There's anger inside. There is resentment. There is envy. There is jealousy. There is, you name it, there are tons of things there. So I create that. I am the creator of my own world. And that's why it is for me to take the responsibility to start noticing what is there that I don't want to carry anymore. I need to change it. I need to bring a shift in that. So the power of thoughts, huge. And maybe we could spend some time silently to think about what it is I notice. I have to notice what's there. And for me to notice, I have to be detached observer of the self. Step back and look. Step back and look. What's there? If you behave in a certain way, ask yourself, what is the trigger for that? Why am I behaving in this way? Why am I responding like this? Where is it coming from? We have to get to the root of it. Unless we get to the root, we will not be able to destroy that seed that is causing us harm and grievance. No, and I really wish a lot of people can perhaps spend some time to look at themselves and maybe change some of these bad attitudes and, behavior. Of course, it is expressed in the form of behavior or in the form of words. Now, words also a powerful tool. So whatever we think, we also speak. I'm always amazed when, you go to let's say the Dalai Lama or someone who is of a significant personality is giving a great talk, and you attend that, and one single person who hasn't made an impression on thousands of people. The words he's saying, it's simple. It's a language we all know. Well, why is it another person is saying the same thing? There is no impact. Anyone know the reason? What is the reason? That one person can attract millions just with his words, and as if he has command over all the people there. We've seen it with rulers or presidents and kings in the past. They had so much authority over everyone. And yet someone would say the same thing and it means nothing. And the reason is because those words are filled with power, whether it's negative or positive. But those words are filled with something. It's a power in the words. And so when someone is listening to that, it reaches the heart and they can feel it. They can experience it. And that's the reason why words can be constructive or destructive. So stepping in and noticing, I also have the power of words. I can speak. I can share. I can express. And of course, I can experience internally. So my thoughts, my words, and actions. And recently we were having a conversation in our classes about good actions, charitable action, or sinful actions, is that I have the power to command myself to do something that is constructive, that can enlighten another person, or to do an action that maybe can bring some kind of experience in another person that they don't like. So my thoughts, words, and actions, we have this wonderful body, this wonderful elements that we use every day. We see, we talk, we interact, we perform action. So what makes an action a charitable action? We can be sweeping the floor, we can be maybe doing something on the computer. Every day we're performing action using all the senses, all our senses. But yet, on one hand, there is a person who is performing the same action, but is what we call as accumulating something powerful inside of him, because whilst he's performing those actions, it is done with a stable mind. It's done with a pure intent or a pure awareness. So any action that is being done with a pure awareness, it accumulates. It accumulates. The positivity accumulates. The same person can do another person can do the same action, but nothing happened. There is no fruit for that action. I like this expression in the lesson of karma, that when you sow one seed, who does planting here? Gardening. I've done it too. I like to experiment. You plant a seed, and that one seed, you get many fruits, right? And it's so amazing to watch that when you plant, How beautiful, you get all these fruits from your hard efforts, hard work. If I'm able to plant the seed of positivity in my thoughts, in my words, in my action, what will happen? It will have a huge impact on others. First, it will have a huge impact on myself because there will be this power of transformation. I will start noticing transformation. But I did not come to the seed, the core of the being. What is going to cause that, or what is the basis for that transformation? What is the secret for that transformation? Is there anyone who can say? Because we all have good intentions. We want to be positive and optimistic and inspiring to others and to the world and with our families. But we are not able to do it. We have the thought, we would really like to, but it's not happening. Something is missing. So how can I make that, as is talking about the shift of perspective? And the shift of perspective will help us to thrive in our life. What is the secret? Any guesses? Taking care of? Huh? Yes. Nurturing, sustaining it. That's a good one. Nurturing and sustaining. You can have a wonderful thought, but you don't sustain it. You don't nurture it like a plant and it dies. No, but if we nurture it, and you'll tell me what you nurture it with, because this is something you can't physically do. It's something within. How do I nurture my thoughts so that it blossoms, that it gives out the fragrance, that it inspires others? It's within me. With love, yes, with love, emotion of love. And we talked about it last week, pure, unadulterated love. Love that comes from the heart, that reaches the heart. It's very important. What else? What is the basis for this catalyst of change that I can bring in myself? And that's why we are doing this session tonight, so that we are delving deep inside. We want to get to the core. We want to see what's there. I need to dig up to see what's inside that I could start looking at. So one of the tools that is required for this transformation of the inner self is wisdom. I think we talk about that. And recently something captured my mind is that if your mind is occupied with all worldly things and worldly conversation and gossiping and all the things that we shouldn't do, then what happens is that we are creating an abundance of waste energy, right? We're thinking about this one and that one and this one and that one. And it's creating a lot of waste inside. And then that waste thoughts become, if you keep thinking all the time, from the moment you wake up until you sleep about this and that, then it's a habit, no doubt. But then it will become a strong impression within the self. And that waste will build up to something negative. So from waste, it becomes negative. And when it's negative, it's toxic. And then we put that into action, and then it's quite destructive. So how we need to transform all of that with a wisdom, with understanding, with insight. And this is what we do as meditators. Every day, every morning, we sit together in a classroom and we study and we read about ourselves. Wisdom of the light, wisdom of the soul. So it's like taking time out to understand the psyche, to understand me, because nobody's going to tell you about yourself. You can go to anyone. They'll attempt to tell you something, but you only live with yourself. You know yourself. So it's only when you do this research, learn to see who you are, and also not to be disappointed with what you see in your heart, your soul, but immediately start thinking that you need to make that shift because it's beneficial and it's long term. And also, it will make me healthy, it will make me happy, it will make me joyful. I will change my whole inner dynamics. And that's what I've seen with people who are spiritual or who have been practicing meditation or something positive in their life. I've seen it, and I've seen how they don't easily get ruffled. It's that they're in this cocoon of their own beautiful world, and they're not allowing anything to penetrate. And that's a buildup of years and years and years of experience. But it doesn't have to be that with all of us. It can be just maybe some weeks or days of practice. Start noticing that how you're beginning to enjoy being with yourself and how you're seeing that the inner power is manifesting. And talking about the inner powers, we have not only powers, but we have virtues. And I'm sure some of you would have done some of the lessons about the powers that we have, or the powers that we attain through the practice of meditation. Anyone remembers any of the powers? The power of tolerance. Who has a power of tolerance? Everyone? How do you know you have the power of tolerance? Is it that you don't say anything? Like somebody is insulting you right now and you stay quiet. Is that tolerance, by the way? I don't respond. Is that tolerance? Yes. In a way, yes. Yeah. So the thing is, you can be quiet. It doesn't mean you're tolerating, because there are some people, they're quiet, but then after some time they explode. It maybe today they're okay, tomorrow they're quiet, next day, but it's building up, it's building up, it's building up, and then boom. You heard stories. I mean, it's in the newspaper how people become so violent, and people used to say he was such a quiet man. What is going on? So there is not. Yeah, you want to say something?
I think in order to be tolerant, I have to be merciful
Okay.
with people. I have to really put myself aside, or I'll be upset. If I'm forced to tolerate, something's triggered me. Then if I am forgiving, or I go into my higher self, the virtuous me, then it's a gift to both of us, the person and myself.
Thank you. Yeah, when you're filled with all the fruits, the richness inside, nothing outside tempts you. Doesn't matter what is happening in the world. And I've seen practically many of the yogis, they are not distracted. They're not pulled. They're not tempted, because they have spent time delving into their inner world and noticing all the beautiful, wonderful powers that they have. So they're being nurtured, as we're talking about nurtured, they're being sustained by that. So there is no room for reacting or noticing. They're not even seeing the negatives. Even if they see it, it's not registering in their minds, because they don't want to carry that burden. I don't know if you heard the story of the two monks. When it's a story, but it talks about two monks were just walking along the riverside, and monks are not supposed to look at women or even talk to them. But this woman showed up and she said, "Can you help me? I think cross the river or something." And one of the monk, he said, "Sure, I will help you." So he took her across the river and he finished. He did his task and Om Shanti. That's it. And the other monk, inside of his mind, he was saying, why did he do that? He shouldn't have touched her. This is against the rule. And he was going on and on, ranting and and at the end of the journey, he couldn't contain himself. He said, why did you touch that woman? You know you're not supposed to touch that one. And the other monk responded. He said, I carried her and I left her there, but you have been carrying her in your mind all the way because you're thinking about her. I'm not thinking about it. And this is what happens is that yogis or people who spend time in their own world of beauty and inner joy, they are not pulled or distracted by what's going on in the world out there. They are very much aware. They're not sleeping. They're not dead. They notice. They've seen everything, but they don't allow that world, the ugly world, to get into their inner sacred space. And this is something really beautiful. And so, wisdom. We need to read about things that are very uplifting and very positive and very inspiring, and for some, spiritual, so that these thoughts can help us to make a shift in our mind. If we keep reading about something over and over and over, it sinks in. Well, we have to make the effort to do that. And then it goes deep inside the soul, into the subconscious mind. And you'll find even in your dreams, you're having positive dreams. Any one of you have nice dreams? Yes. Wake up with a nice, beautiful dreams. So that's because the way you have trained your subconscious mind, even when you're sleeping, is going to be meaningful. It's going to be positive. I think you want to say something, Louise.
Well, I learned here that if you go to sleep thinking positive thoughts, you're going to have positive night's sleep usually. And if you go to sleep troubled, you're going to have some friction. I know someone who's having nightmares because he's so upset with the world, what's going on.
Oh,
And
yes.
it's infiltrating his subconscious mind. Yeah. So we tend not to watch violent things or disturbing things. Yeah. I was just sitting here thinking about how the stories we tell ourselves in our minds and the things that we bring up from the past. You were talking about waste thoughts and how I'm really trying to train myself not to live in those old stories that keep repeating and repeating, maybe for generations, maybe for lifetimes. It's a big disease that I think most of us have, thinking about either what could happen in the future or the past. Oh, I had a terrible childhood. Oh, this happened to me. Being the victim. And I think you were alluding to it in your flyer blurb. You know, we can either have the power that you're talking about tonight, or we can be victims of waiting for the world. You said it, waiting for the world to change, waiting for people to change, waiting for something to happen. You know,
Yes, definitely.
I mean, I could have sat in my own soup waiting for those kids to come for dinner, right? And I chose not to. It's a big thing for me. It's really big.
What is interesting that I've seen people coming to the meditation center and they really want to change. And like you said, some of them are stuck in repeating their stories. It doesn't matter how hard you try to get them to change their way of thinking or seeing. It's gone so deep inside that it seems almost helpless. The only thing left is to send positive thoughts to that person and vibrations because they can't see, and maybe the ego is getting in the way. They don't want to accept. And so, no transformation. They're not open to listen. And someone was telling me today about someone who is close to her, and whenever she talks about something spiritual or positive, he doesn't want to hear. And he thinks he knows more than her. Well, how dare you tell me this? I know more than you. So there's the ego is a door that you close that door and you never get to open it to learn. And ego actually is one of the vices. So noticing, and immediately those who have the wisdom and who have the pure desire I want to change. I want to see something beautiful in my life. I want to make a difference in terms of my relationship with people. I want to make a difference in my community, in my world. It starts with me. When I change, the world will change, brother.
There's the next question.
It's a dawn, brother Dawn.
There's an expression that change only occurs when it becomes more painful not to change. Do you agree with that?
Yes. You want to share more on that? Like, how do you see that?
You hear numerous stories about people who go through the depths of depression or
Yes.
people who are incarcerated. And
Mhm.
it's only when they experience that deep pain that they truly transform themselves.
Mhm.
But do you have to go through that pain?
Not necessary. No, you don't have to. You don't have to go through that pain, but some people don't know what's different. And so it's just life that takes them through all these experiences. And when they hit rock bottom, then they say, no, there's something else out there. I've met people with their stories who share those stories. They said, I hit rock bottom and then I realized, I need to change. But of course, if those of you who are seeking to change, they say when you seek for it, it will come to you. The truth will come to you.
Just one more question, because I'm a little confused about when you actually transform. So you mentioned at the beginning, you knew this person, and every day that they go shopping, they go to the same supermarket and buy eggplant.
Mhm.
If tomorrow they go to a different supermarket, have they transformed themselves?
They have become a little more open-minded, I would think, in the sense that some of us are so close-minded, we don't want to see anything else. And for us as human being, we need to open up. We need to know about the universe. We need to know about the people, our community, our world. It's very important. We are not just to live just isolated. As much as we may live alone, but we can still be part of the community and world and be able to interact and to have love for our brothers and sisters. But if we choose to be by ourselves as loners, then sometimes at some point in life, we'll feel that something is not working. Why do I feel like this? Maybe people don't like me. But yes, we need to open up our horizon of thinking, like Jack out of the box, open up the box and see the reality of life. Otherwise, you might get some surprises in life that you see. Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
I think it was Thomas Merton, the philosopher, who said, we will remain the same until the pain will remain the same until the pain outweighs the pain of change, something like that. I had the sign on my desk. That human beings, he's saying, don't like change. And I personally think it's because we've become so what we call body conscious. We've really grounded ourselves in our roles rather than who we really are. And here we learn we are a soul whose original nature is peaceful, loving. So our original religion is peace. So look what we've done. We put on fancy clothes, we buy earrings, we're insulted if someone forgets your anniversary. We can go on and on with all these things that are totally waste and irrelevant. But to go into, jump into a pool that you have never swum in is change. So the transformation to me comes when you dare to do that. I had a very
Right.
anxious childhood, and but every time I did something outside of my comfort zone, I had that as a memory, a good memory of the past that I could carry with me and keep creating them. You know what I mean? And you don't have to be traumatized to do it. You can just be a regular person trying to jump out of the box.
Mm, mm.
But it's tricky, don't you think?
Yeah, I can share a story. I had a friend named Alina many years ago. Everybody's my friend, by the way. And she was telling me about her brother, and he just want to enjoy his life, party and go here and do all kinds of things, go here, there, everywhere, spending a lot of money, living this, this life of wealth and, waste. And he never had time, he never wanted to spend time to think about that he has a body to take care of. No, he's just party and party and party. And she said he became very sick. He became sick and he was bedridden. And he was very angry, very angry. And he said, I don't believe in God. Why God is doing this to me? I cannot enjoy my life anymore. I don't want to hear anything anymore. And he took himself into a deep state of depression, very deep. And of course, Elena tried to help him. She was talking about maybe spiritual things, I don't know. But it's where we were asking that question about people hitting rock bottom before they realize it's too late. By the way, we get many chances in life, or we can say we get many signals in life, maybe through some medium, whether people or books or whatever, that is looking us in the face and saying you have to change or you should change. And sometimes we choose not to listen. I don't know if you had experience, you want to do something and another voice is saying, don't do it. You shouldn't do it. But yet your ego is saying, no, I will do it. And kind of suppress your other voice now. And then after you would have performed the act, you feel, oh, why did I do it? I repented. I'm sorry. And sometimes we have different ways of learning about ourselves. But eventually, I think when we see the benefit, because it will bring results. And we will start noticing, well, this is very helpful when I start noticing the results. So this topic is huge. It is for self-transformation, but I would encourage everyone to just spend some time, think about the self, think of what we can expand the horizon. And that's why they say, reading maketh a man. Keep reading, keep educating yourself, participate, open up your heart, open up your soul. And of course, if you have the power of discernment, which is one of the powers, you'll be able to choose the right thing without regret. And we talk about all the inner powers. And so tolerance is one, patience, the power to adjust, the power to face, the power to cooperate, the power to discriminate. We have so many powers in us. If we are able to understand these powers and use them, then away to go. And our life will be so wonderful. And I can only speak on behalf of being a practicing meditator for many years. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I'm saying I've seen a lot of results and lots of changes, not only in myself, but my brothers and sisters who are able to have a more stable mind and to look at life differently with wisdom, to see through the eyes of wisdom that you don't allow the world to go into your heart, but you share what's in the heart with the world. And that is very important.
And that's what we do here. And I thought of something about a half an hour ago. We have a few minutes, right?
Yes, why not?
Well, I know, I'm sorry that the people on Zoom don't have voices anymore. We had to change the format. But you can think about this. Everyone here has been here before. Most of you are regulars. How has coming, can you think of one little way that it's transformed you, changed you? Now, we're not talking about renewal in the form of a driver's license. We're talking about a permanent change, something that you have grasped, nurtured from here. By the way, the quote was, you will remain the same until the pain of remaining the same outweighs the pain of change. So fear of change is a very common thing. Would anyone like to, just a few words about how coming here has made you different in some
Maya?
small way?
You want to share? Yeah, each one can share.
Om Shanti. Yeah, Sister Kamla is my name teacher. So with Baba's love, she changed my life.
I did.
With
Wait.
Baba's love, yeah, when I start to come here, yeah, younger children was younger. Boy was 9-year-old, and they all said, "Okay, Mom, keep going there because when you go there, you don't yell at us." This is the biggest.
When
thing.
she keeps coming here, she doesn't get to yell at the children. So they
Yeah.
notice that transformation.
So big transformation. Before Baba found me, I was beggar, like give me respect, give me love. Now no more expectations. Now I'm giver, with like just like Baba. This is the biggest change I found it.
And
And
Bob is
one more thing, insurance is here because when last year I was going to India with my husband, then young and 2 daughters. Only son was here. Then he was getting scared. Older daughter get scared, Mom. Our brother is only here alone by himself. We don't supposed to leave him here because we don't have family here. We just have friends, but we have Baba here. So biggest change, I told them, go to Harmony House. Baba is there. Whatever you feel uncomfort, and anyone you get the help, any help. You go to just Harmony House.
Thank you. So Baba
Om
is
Shanti.
another name for God. Thank you. So,
Term, right?
thank
That's
you. By
beautiful.
coming here, they got the help. Yeah.
And we always say, give your problem to Baba. And it's amazing because he's perfect, right? With a full heart. You had your hands up, right?
Being with the Brahma Kumaris for a while, a long time ago, changed me because I always accepted the acceptance for me when I heard here became a word that I use in my own life to accept the things that I cannot change. And my children are grown up, and I'm sorry that I didn't know all what I know now because of the Brahma Kumaris.
Mhm.
If I had learned that when they were younger, their life would have been much better because I would have been more patient, have more tolerance, more peaceful. Life would have been so good, but they grew up. And now I'm here and I have changed a lot in my life. It's much better since I learned from the Brahma Kumaris a lot of things. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
I've become a warrior for peace. I always say that. I used to fight and have to win, I don't do that anymore. I don't know whether it's growing older, but it's very much being here.
She's shy. Okay. What is it, Judy?
Maybe I have to work on that, on talking. Well, when I come here, it's peaceful. So I don't know, sometimes I don't try to analyze it too much. It's like the energy. There is so much the peaceful energy that this is great. This is like I'm charging myself with peace. It's a great feeling. That's how I feel.
Thank you. So do you think the energy is coming from these benches, or it's coming from this
Totally.
picture, or where is it coming from?
It goes in the benches too. It's everywhere. It's in the air.
Yeah. It's the vibrations.
It comes from the people.
Yeah, the people
Comes
when
from
they
the people,
collectively,
and,
yeah,
yes.
definitely.
So it's
So
everywhere.
it is transforming. Thank you so much. That's beautiful.
Peace Village it's all over, all around. You can feel it. You want to add something?
All right. Okay.
How can we help someone else transform? Someone who's
Yeah.
dealing with anxiety or depression or intolerance. And I should say I witnessed that. And in the past, I would have been more reactive than I am now. So
Yeah.
how could, or how can that happen?
I've
If it's
seen it,
possible.
yes, it is possible, but sometimes you have to be, sensitive to others, as not everybody will be open to what you will say to them. So if you can maybe share something with someone and they're receptive, that's fine. But there are some people, no, you just have to send vibrations of peace and it will reach their soul. Because I've also heard about those experiments. We call it experiments in silence. And actually, we had a journal on that, experiments in silence. And they start noticing the results without saying a word to that person.
Sending vibration, you mean? Yeah.
Vibrations, yeah, definitely. So sometimes you can visualize a person and just send peace. But if, like I said, if a person is open to listening to you, then you can share something that's positive and it probably will have an impact on them. Definitely.
Yeah. Can I add something?
Yes, go ahead.
I spent a lifetime giving free advice to people. I knew how they should behave and I find that with particular family members who I'm closest to, the best thing is to model your peace, to walk your peace. And they are not going to, it could be lifetimes of victimization and negative thinking, whatever but when you stay in your higher self and you're around them,
Yes,
oh boy, does that impact.
definitely.
Yeah, and then I once heard someone on the phone talking as though person was me, saying what I used to say. It was great, and I shut up. I just didn't say a word. But I was glowing, not from my ego, from knowing that something I didn't use my mouth to do was being transmitted, and it transformed somebody. So
Thank you.
yeah.
Don't want to say anything?
I think it's time to
Okay.
do a little final comment.
To wrap up,
Yeah.
you want to close with meditation?
Yeah, if you would, that would be lovely.
Yeah.
And
then-
next week we have back from India, Brother Eric, I do believe. Is that right,
Yeah,
Narayan?
tomorrow he will be arriving too.
And he is our speaker next week. You all know Brother Eric. He'll be
You'll
here.
have your family members back.
Right. And a bunch of us are going to Peace Village on Saturday to help spruce up the place for the new season.
Yeah.
So do try. I know many of you have spoken about coming up to Peace Village, or you have been, but put it on your calendar for this spring or summer or fall, because it is as magical as we were describing, as you said before. Okay.
Yes, thank you all once again for giving me an opportunity to be here. Soon I'll be back in Peace Village and the retreat season starts. So I'll be, being with many more people and quite busy. So I'm happy to be here to share a little time with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister
Thank
Kamla,
you.
so much for beautiful
And I
evening.
encourage you to please keep coming. It's important. Can we close with a beautiful song, my brother? Thank you.
Breathe on me, breath of life. Shake the dust from the stars tonight. Light a candle in my name. Together maybe we could learn to change. The gift where secrets will unfold. The night is shattered by the rising sun, and all the earth will sing the same song. Breathe on me, breath of love, and wrap the broken pieces of this heart. Find the voices, make them still, and hold the shadows back and drink your fill. I'm tired of fighting words stored in my head, and all the dreams we've lived unsaid. The sun is rising, now it won't be long till all the earth will sing the same song. Breathe on me, breath of life, and shake the dust from the stars tonight. Light a candle, say my name. Together maybe we could learn to change. Together maybe we could learn to change.
Thank you
Thank you,
again,
Louis.
Sister
Thank you.
Kamla. I said Kamla. And welcome everybody next week. Yeah. Very nice. Thank you. Shanti. We have Toli and Blessing on your way out.
To